Hello all, welcome to Cloud Technologies, and we are very happy to announce that we are going to provide a free course for MuleSoft for all the freshers and beginners and who want to learn MuleSoft from scratch. This is entirely free course which we are going to release on day by day basis. So it will be a 30 days course, so it is very helpful for you to learn MuleSoft from scratch. And we have explained this course with the real-time project. We have built a real-time project also. In order to explain that, we have created a couple of files and project code as well. So if you want to get those files and projects, please email us with this subject line: request to share level 1 course file. Also, we have an important announcement that we are planning to release a MuleSoft advanced level 2 course very soon. So in this course we will be discussing most of the topics of MuleSoft, which will help you very well in order to complete level 2 certification as well as to work on complex real-time projects as well. So I hope you will be enjoying that course as well. So if you want to know more details about advanced level course, please contact us via mobile or email. We will be sharing those details. So without further delay, let's get started. Hello all, welcome to Cloud Technologies. As part of this MuleSoft Mastery course, we are in another video now where we will discuss the REST API basics. I hope you have already watched our previous videos. You get some knowledge about what is the course we are going to cover and what is the real-time project we are going to build, and a couple of more basics or a couple of other topics. Okay, so if you are visiting our channel for the first time and if this is the first video you are watching, I would like to recommend please watch all the previous videos in this playlist. We will create a new playlist for this Mule Mastery course, 45 days course, something like that. So please watch the previous videos in this playlist so that you will be in a better shape like what we are going to do in this entire course. So you will be following the flow. Okay. So in this video, we will be discussing about a couple of things before we start gathering the requirements for our project, real-time project. Before we start designing our project, because we are going to build a lot of REST APIs in our project, right? Regardless of what is the layer we are going to build, system, processor, experience, all things we need to do is like we are going to build REST APIs in MuleSoft. So to build that REST APIs in MuleSoft, you have to understand a couple of things. What is the background about this REST API and how to build this REST API. Then only we can start designing our MuleSoft APIs. So please focus on this session first, get all the information and make a note of it, everything. So this video is really helpful for you to understand what is REST API and how to communicate through REST API. How can we design REST API in our MuleSoft project. Okay, so if you are visiting our channel for the first time, please subscribe to our channel and share our videos and like our videos, and comment down if you have any doubts or anything. Please comments in the please do the comment in our video below comment section. Okay, let's get started. So today we will see a couple of things. So what is REST API? Maybe in our basics video, which we have already published in our playlist, there we discussed about few things related to the URL and all, what how a URL looks like, what is protocol, base path, pathway and all. Okay, so now coming to just a REST API, we need to understand a couple of more things. Okay, what is REST API? So REST means representational state transfer. This is the full form of REST. Okay, it is an architecture style to develop web applications. So if you want to develop any web applications, REST is the one of the architecture style, just like SOAP or other APIs, but REST is very popular. Okay, so REST API is using HTTP protocol to communicate with server and client. We have a lot of protocols. We don't want to discuss all the things now. So we have HTTP, TCP, IP and other protocols also there. I am not aware of other protocols much. So REST API will use HTTP protocol. That thing you need to remember to develop any REST API. Okay, so as it is using this HTTP protocol, it will transfer the data between client and server by using HTTP methods. What are the HTTP methods? We will see in our next steps. Okay, so remember that REST API is using HTTP protocol. Through this HTTP methods, REST API is transferring the data between client and server. Then you need to understand other terminology like URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. What is URL? It is an address like IP address or website address to identify a resource and specify how to access it. So it will show you a URL. By using that URL, we can see how to identify a resource and specify how we can access it. So these two things we will get understand by using URL. Okay, so URL will have base URL. We already discussed it in our basics. So it is a common for all the requests. So base URI means till, for example, www.facebook.com. Till here it is the same for any Facebook request, if you can observe. Later on you will see a couple of things like slash something and all. Okay, let's see that as well. Okay, so maybe here it is. See here https facebook.com. Till here it is common. If you click on this particular post, this URL will till this .com it will not change. Okay, if you click on here, see slash, after that slash the data is changed, future echo something, but www.facebook.com, which is common for all the requests, which is nothing but base path, and you already know HTTP is the protocol. So like that. So this is the base path, and if you request any resource, if you click on it, see till facebook.com it will not change. Later on it will change the path and URI and query parameters and that, which you will see now. Okay, right. So that is about URL and base URI. Let me maximize this here. So then next one is URI. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. URI means Uniform Resource Identifier. Okay, so it is used to actually URI is included in the URL, which is used to specify which resource to the client would like to access in the request. So let me again go to this. It will be useful. See, this is URL. I mean the entire thing is URL, but after this base path, whatever you see, this is nothing but URI, Uniform Resource Identifier. Complete thing is Uniform Resource Locator. Just understand these two differences. So URI will specify what is the exact resource you are going to invoke by using this ID and all. By giving some more information in the request URL, you can identify the specific resource. See, if you want to see this post, okay, see photo ID, this photo ID, FB ID is different, and these values are different. So to identify this particular pic uniquely, you will see URI, and this entire thing is called as URL. It is a simple difference. Okay, don't get confused. So here also like abibus.com, till abibus.com it is your base path, and the complete one is called URL, and here the bus search something from here, it is called URI. So you need to remember every URL is an URI, but every URI is not an URL. It's just like a tongue twister, right? So don't get confused. See, this is the complete URL. Now this complete URL we can treat it as a URI also, because Uniform Resource Identifier. So it has all the path, URI and all. But if you can just consider this slash bus search and Hyderabad Bangalore date, it is just a path. Okay, there is no base path. There is no the website address. So we cannot identify or we cannot get any resource by using only URI. So that URI is not URL. URL is an URI. Just try to understand these two things. Then if you have any confusion here, that will be cleared out. Okay, right. So to get into HTTP methods of REST API, first you need to understand one thing, which is nothing but CRUD operations. So if you are familiar with any database operations, you might have aware of this CRUD operations. If not, no problem, we will discuss now. So CRUD operations means these are the 4 different operations. We can perform these operations on any kind of data. So for example, if you have some data in a database or in a table, okay, if you want, if in any data, these are all the four common operations we can do. Let's say, for example, in our mobile, we have saved our mobile, our friend's contact. For example, maybe my friend, maybe Ramya or Rekha, something. We just save it with that name, one number. Okay, so to save a new number in our mobile, what we are going to do, we will add a new contact in our mobile. That is nothing but create operation. Create will do add a new data record. Okay, so if you want to see the mobile number of that particular person in your mobile, what you will do, in our contact list in our mobile, you will just click on that contact. It will show you that number, the number which is already saved in your mobile. You are just now viewing that number. You are just to see that number. So that is nothing but read operation. So get details of an existing record. The record is already there, or the data is already there, but you are not, you are using, you are now reading that data. You are not visibly using that, viewing that data. That is nothing but read operations. Update operation means, for example, if your friend changed her SIM card, now you want to just add that new number. Maybe you can add a new contact, or usually we will just edit that contact and add the another mobile number also in that existing contact, right? So that is nothing but update. So now if you want to remove any friend of mobile number from your mobile, what you will do, you'll just directly click on that contact and delete it, right? So that is nothing but delete operation. So delete will remove the data of the record. So if any kind of data, we are going to perform these four different operations. That is why it is called CRUD operations. All the starting letters of these operations you can just remember easily. CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete. Okay, so if you understand these four operations, then it will be easy for you to correlate these operations to the HTTP methods, because in HTTP methods also we have majorly we are going to use four different operations. HTTP methods have lot of methods, but we are going to use major four operations which are just related to this CRUD operations. So what is HTTP methods? We already discussed, right? To create every REST API is sending data or transferring data through HTTP methods. So now these are all the 4 or 5 major HTTP methods in a REST API we are going to use. We have another trace, head, and another methods also. Those we are not going to use in our REST API very frequently, but we need to focus on these 5 methods. In these 5 methods also, our primary focus would be post, get, put. Usually we will not delete any resource in our real-time projects, and sometimes we will patch it, but patch is also not majorly used. So just concentrate on the 3 methods. So if you correlate these HTTP methods with these CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete. So create means post method in HTTPS. So if you see any post method in HTTPS, it means that you are going to add a new record, or you are creating a new API resource. In terms of API, you can remember creating a new API resource. Post means create. Just remember in that simple way. So then get method, get HTTP method. It is used to get the details of existing record. Just like we are viewing that existing mobile number, right? So just like that, get method is to retrieve the data or get the details of existing record. So in API terminology, you can remember like in information we are getting the information about an API resource, the existing resource. Then put method is used to update the details of existing record, just like update method. If you want to modify the details of existing record, you can use update there in the database CRUD operations. In HTTP methods, you are going to use put. So post means creating new record, get means retrieving the existing record, put method means updating the existing record. And then delete, the name itself is self-explanatory. We are going to delete the record or delete a resource from the API. Patch means it is partially update the resource. So that is why like we are not going to use patch very frequently, but update put means it will update entire set of data, and if the data is not available, it will create the data. That is also put will act as a patch and post, but patch just update the data, modify the data. That is the simple difference between put and patch. Right. Now we need to understand couple of more things related to REST API. So in REST API, we have seen we will have an URL, right? So in this URL, we know HTTPS is the protocol and www.facebook.com till here it is the base path, and after the slash whatever is there, that is nothing but a resource path. So because in that path, that particular resource which you are going to retrieve is available in that particular path. But in this resource path also we have couple of information which is called different kind of parameters. So what is meant by parameter? What is meant by parameter? Parameter is the information that can be sent in a request by the client. Client means, for example, we are going to request any resource, or we are going to get data from the facebook.com, right? For example, so for that facebook.com server, we are the clients because we are the users of that facebook.com. We are just logging into our Facebook account. We are clicking our post or anything just we did earlier. So we are the client to Facebook. So information that can be sent in a request by the client in order to influence the response by the server. So what kind of data you are going to retrieve from the server? Some hints or some information we are going to send to the server. See, for example, if we send username is Clark, then only our Facebook server or our Facebook API will go to the Facebook server and it will search for the username equal to Clark. Okay, then it will fetch the details of that Clark profile information and it will display into our Facebook UI page. Just like that, we are providing some information to the server. As a client, we are providing some information in the request to the server. Based on that information, server will search for the resource or search for the details. It will send back to the client. So instead of just giving just www.facebook.com, this is the base path. By using this path, client will not understand. Server will not understand what data you are going to access. So we need to provide some additional information in order to get the particular details from the server to client. So to send that, we have four different methods actually, but two are different parameters. So how many types we are going to send data to the server through our request, REST API request. Okay. So body. First one is body. In the request body, we can send some data to the server to create a resource or to update a resource. See, post and put, these two methods are actually, for these two methods we are going to send some data in the request body, because post means what? Add a new data record in server or API. So add a new data. What data is this going to add? You need to tell that, right? We need to say, see, in our mobile also, we need to say this is the number, this is the person number, this is the mobile number. Once we click on save, that contact will be saved into your mobile. So you need to send that data. What data you are going to create, you need to send in the post method. How you are going to send means in the body part of the request. We will see how we can send body part, headers part and parameters part. We will see later. But just remember, for post and put methods, we are going to send some data in the request body in order to send that data to server. Okay. So yeah, that is why it is only for a post, put or patch. Then query parameters. Here we have two different kind of parameters in your resource URL. In your URL, you have two different parameters, query parameters and URI parameters. So query parameters means it is a variable in the URI path that helps in querying or filtering through list of resources. See here, till facebook.com, it is the base path, and then slash post question mark. After question mark, if you see anything, maybe this we have already discussed in our basics video also. So after the question mark, if you see any key value pairs like variable or value or key or value, with these variables are nothing but query parameters. So here what you are sending to the server in this request, what you are saying to the server in this request is facebook.com/posts. We need to get the posts where the post contain MuleSoft keyboard. So in Facebook we have a lot of posts, right? A lot different topics, millions of posts, thousands of posts. So if you want to retrieve any number of posts related to the MuleSoft, you can give in this way. So it will filter the posts. Say for example, if we have 100 posts, 20 posts are related to MuleSoft, 20 posts are related to SAP, 20 posts are related to any movies, 20 posts are related to any news or crime news or something like that. How the server will filter out the data and send you only MuleSoft related posts, you need to send that details in the query parameters of URL. So if you send question mark contains equal to MuleSoft, it means the post contain MuleSoft words. That post will be the number of posts will be displayed in your Facebook wall page, because this will filter the logic based on the contains keyword or value is MuleSoft. Hope you understand query parameters, right? So URI parameter means it is also a variable in the URI path that helps in pointing towards a specific or unique resource. So if you want to get specific resource, just for example, as I said, profile/clart. So if you send this URL, okay, profile/clart, it means I want to get the profile of clart. With the clart, maybe with the clart we have multiple profiles, but if you can just give your specific username, with your username there is only one profile available in Facebook, only unique profile, right? So if you want to get that unique information, you can use and send details in the URI parameters. You will get more details once we start developing our REST API, our real-time project REST API, and where we are going to design multiple query parameters resources, multiple URI parameter resources, multiple post put methods. So by that stage you will get better understanding of these parameters body and but for now just remember, query parameters is used to querying or filtering the data, and URI parameters is used to get the specific data or specific unique resource from the server. Just remember these two words. Another thing is headers. So if you send some information in the body, request body, it means that that data needs to be processed, and that data need to be saved somewhere in the server, and that data need to be updated. But if you send any information in the headers, the data is not going to save in any server, but to process that data we need some extra information or some metadata related to that request. That data we are going to send in headers part. Okay, so usually what details we will send in header path is like authentication tokens, username, password, client ID secret, accept header, like that. So here the authorization is basic. These are the for examples, just headers. Authorization equal to basic, it means your API is following basic authentication, so you need to send username and password. And another header is accept application/JSON. It means your API will accept JSON data, and then your API will send back the data in the JSON format. Okay. Likewise, we are going to send different details in the REST API. Okay. Now it's time to understand different status codes. So with every request, when we trigger any request made to the server, we will get response code or HTTP status code in the response. So once we hit any resource, because that thing we will be not that is not visible here. So in the response we will see this photo only once we click on this pic, or once we click on any post, it will show you that particular resource only. But in the background, or if you hit this particular URL in the Postman or any client, REST clients, there you will see response code, HTTP status code, and HTTP status message. Let's take some example. Maybe we can see this in one website. It is called http status.io. Let me try that. We have this website. Oh, sorry, status. My bad. http status.io. This is one website where you can give your URL and click on check status. It will show you HTTP status code and status message as well. Okay. Let's try for this Facebook URL. Let me click on this old Mumbai. So it will show you something, right? So let's copy this URL, give this URL here, click on check status. See what is the status code? It is 200. Once you hover this mouse here, it will show you OK. So this 200 is status code, this OK is status message, because we are successfully retrieving this resource. For example, if you are not giving the correct URL, So in here I will just add something, some random thing, and click on status. This is not available in the Facebook, right? So what will happen? No, it shows 200 only. Maybe this is also available. So let me give something, some random names. Name equal to LKS and some other different query parameters. Something just for example. Okay, let's click. Okay, it is for everything. It is showing 200. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's take another example where the resource is not available. bbus.com. Okay, now let's click on these trains, or else let me just search for any buses here. I just wanted to show some different status codes. That's okay. So once you click here, it may show some buses or not. Let's take this URL and check here. Check status. So this is a valid URL. You should get 200. Now let's change this URL to some other one. Okay. Once if we get this, it shows error. Okay. Connection to the server hosting the URL files, but it is not showing anything related to. We can give our website details as our website URLs also. We can search. Let me check that. Okay, or else let me just check cloudtechnologies.com. This is the home page. For this home page, it is available, so we can copy this. We can give. I think the tabibus URL is also having some issues. Let's check. Yeah, now it is 200. Okay, this is available, right? Let's see. Post cloud, something I have given in URI. That page is not available actually. Yeah, see, now it is 404 not found. So this page is not there in my website. In Cloud Technologies, there is nothing URL post Cloud that is not available. So I am sending wrong request to the server. That is why I am getting 404, which is not found. If you can just expand this, you will see. Yeah, see, status message is not found. Status code is 404. Okay, if you can just give some other things like something. This also maybe it will be not found because that page itself is not existing. No, 404. So whenever a client send wrong data to the server, you will get 400 kind of errors. 401, 400, 402, 404, something like I will show you what are the different errors. So whenever the server is having some issues, it should return back 500 related errors. Okay, let's go back to our slides. I will show you a couple of status codes. 200 means okay. So whenever we are retrieving existing details successfully, it will show you 200 is HTTP code. Okay is the status message. And whenever we are creating a new resource by using post method, it should respond you with 201, which is successfully created. Okay, these two are the success codes. So whenever a client send any error, because if we, for example, if we said any, if we sent any, if we miss any important details like query parameters, if we miss something, when we hit that URL, it will send you back 400 is the HTTP error code, and message is bad request. Message means here HTTP status message. Bad request. So whenever we are missing any authorization information, like if that website or if that REST API is having some client ID enforcement or basic authentication, if you miss it to give any username, password or client ID secret in the headers, it will send you 401 unauthorized. This is the error because as a client, we are sending wrong data or incorrect data or invalid data to the server. So 400 related errors are related to the client. So 403 forbidden. If the client did not have permission to access that requested resource, it will throw you 403. So this is self-explanatory. 404 not found, we just see that example, because in our Clark Technologies website, the post Clark, that page is not available. So that is why it is sending 404 not found message. And 405 method not allowed. For example, if you are accessing a resource by using post method, the resource is actually having only get method while implementing it. If you are accessing any get method, any get resource by using post method, something like that, it will send you response like 405 method not allowed. And if your server did not receive a complete request from the client, then it is sending request timeout. In that case also you will find 408 is the status code. And we have a couple of status codes, 409, 415, 419, 429. These are the different status codes. I will share this document as well in the resources section maybe. And here 500 related errors, which are nothing but server errors. See, for example, if you are sending the correct data to the server, like you have given correct username, password, you have given correct method, you have used correct method, and you have given correct query parameters and all, you are sending correct data, but server side having some issues. The server is having some issues. You will that will send response like 500 is the status code, and these are all the different status messages. 500 means internal server error. The request was not completed due to an internal server error on server side. Not implemented. 501. The server does not support the functionality required to fulfill the request. Bad gateway. This error response means that the server, while working on a gateway to get the response needed to handle the request, but got an invalid response like that. So 503 means service unavailable. The server is not available for the some time, like if any issues or any downtime from the server side, you will get 503. Okay, likewise we have another one is gateway timeout. These are all the normal errors. We have 300 related errors also, which is going to be used as a redirect errors, but redirect status codes. We will not use 300 related in our MuleSoft, so we don't need to worry. We will just focus on 200 related errors, 300 related errors, 400, 500 related errors, status codes. Okay, so in a just to give you an overview, any status code coming with 2, starting with 200s, it means success. Starting with 300s, it is a redirection. Starting with 4 and 400 related status codes, if you get anything, it is nothing but problem with client while sending the data. 500 related errors means problem with server while responding back to the client. So these things you need to remember. Okay, then so we need to understand one more thing before we conclude this particular video, which is nothing but authentication and authorization. What is the difference between authentication and authorization? In order to implement any REST API, you need to understand these two differences, but let's understand in a simple way. So authentication means who are you, who you are, or you have correct identity or not. So that is nothing but authentication. For example, if someone came to your home, they rang the bell. If you know that person, or if you know that person is your relative, you can identify that person. Yeah, he is my relative. He can enter the house. Okay, but authorization means what can you do? Who are you? Correct identity. Authorization means what you can do. Certain action. Say, for example, one relative came to your house, they rang the bell, doorbell, you just open the door, you see that person and you identify that he is your relative, he or she is your relative. What you will do, you can just ask them to enter into your house. So identification is done, authentication is done. But if that person needs to go to your bedroom or some other room where the bureau is located, or where all your currency or some gold or some jewels are located in one locker, if any other relative or that person want to go to that room and open your bureau to access your cash or gold something, is it you are going to allow that person? No, right? Until unless it is your you or your husband or your family members, until unless we will not provide that access to everyone. Even though if they are close relatives, we are not going to give that authorization or access to any other person. right? That is nothing but authorization. What can you do? So as a relative, you can enter into my house and have a cup of coffee or tea, have a chit chat and go. That's it. Until unless, apart from that, you should not have access to enter into my personal bedroom or enter into my bureau room where I have some cash or something. That you cannot do as a relative, as an outside member. That is nothing but authorization. So that is just a simple example I have given for you, the basic understanding. So in general, maybe we can take one more example, like an employee can enter into an office if he has ID card. So if you are going to office, you can show that ID card to your security. Security will check if that ID card is valid and that company ID card. If he find this is okay, he will enter you into the office. He will allow you to enter into the office. You can go to the office. You can use cafeteria or any common area or anything. You can access your workstation, right? But authorization means if you have any server room in your office, or if you have any ODC means offshore development center, secured ODCs we have for some projects. You will not enter into that ODC without until unless you have access for your ID card. So until unless you have that access card, you will not enter into that ODC or you will not enter into the server room. So that is nothing but authorization. I hope you will understand the difference between the authentication and authorization now. So in our REST API, we have these many methods to authenticate any request. So as we are human beings, we can authenticate or we can identify the relatives or members by seeing the face as we are human beings. But as a system, as a REST API, how it can identify if that resource or if that client request is valid or not. Right? So to do that, we have different methods. We have basic authentication, bearer token authentication, OAuth 2.2 authentication, not authorization, right? Authentication means if you want to identify the identity of the client, identity of the request, you need to apply any of these methods to get to authenticate that resource. So we have different methods: client ID, client secret, basic bearer, OpenID connect, API keys, JWT token, like that. So we will see a couple of things in our project what are required in our array. I just wanted to list down all the different methods available, but we will use most of the authentication methods in our project while implementing a couple of REST APIs, so that you will get better understanding. I hope this video is useful for you. I will stop here. So it is already overloaded for new members or any non-IT background members. So let's stop this video here. Try to watch this video again and just have a notes of it. Just try to understand these things first, so that it will be easy for you to create any REST API, to work on any REST API once we start the project. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, share these videos, like our videos. Thank you. Let's meet in another video.